Welcome back, everybody, to the Los Angeles Lakers Flashback rebuild. And today's episode is a good one, because in the last episode, we finally, and I mean finally, got back to the NBA Finals. It had been 6, maybe even 7 episodes with us just being disappointed year after year in the playoffs, going out in the second round, the first round, the conference finals, just disappointment after disappointment. And it was not a good run. But last episode changed everything, because not only did we get back to the NBA Finals, but we won the NBA championship for the 3rd time in this series in the last episode. It was a very good episode. I was super excited. I was hyped. We also had a great draft where we drafted the Greek freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. He's on the team now as a Los Angeles Laker. Can you even believe that? I don't know if you can. So he's on the team. We've still got the same guys that we've always had. If you want to check out the roster, this is what we're looking like. Kobe is still here. LeBron is still here. Luka is still here. Tracy McGrady still here. But we talked about at the end of last episode how he could be the odd man out. Now, before I started recording, I was kind of going through some of the options for the trade finder, and I was kind of throwing different guys together, seeing what I could bring to give a good package to get back in return. And Tracy McGrady was giving us some very, very good options, because he has 4.5 star value, and he was bringing back some really good talent. But I don't know. I'm not 100% certain if I want to trade Tracy McGrady, because he's only 23 years old. He's been on our team for 4 seasons. This is year number 5 he's going into. He's been on our team for 4 seasons. He's been very good those 4 seasons. These numbers really don't do him justice for how good he's been on the team, especially last year in the postseason. He was amazing in the finals, amazing in the conference finals. He played well in that entire playoff run. So his value is more just what he brings to a team, not necessarily in terms of filling the stat sheet, but he's been a valuable piece to the puzzle. Obviously, DeAndre Ayton has been our star center. Anthony Edwards, who we got a couple of years ago, might end up being the new odd man out. Now, I know we are going to have to probably pay Anthony Edwards pretty soon. We've already paid Tracy McGrady, which is kind of why I might want to move him. But then we've got Miles Bridges. And Miles Bridges is a really, really good, really, really young small forward. 81 overall, 23 years old, can play good defense, can play good offense. He's a good all-around player. But he, when I put him in the trade finder, actually brought up some really, really, really interesting trades that I might want to do. And he is on the last year of his deal, and we don't have anything on him except for probably the bird rights. So we are certainly going to probably have to pay Miles Bridges a decent amount of money if we want to bring him back. And I don't know if that's a good option, because we do have Giannis, who we just drafted this year. He's under contract for 2 seasons, plus all the normal stuff. He's got the bird rights, he's restricted and all that kind of stuff. So we locked him down. We also have not really a whole lot else after Giannis. The rest of the guys are just older, kind of just filler roster guys. But when I went to the trade finder and when I put in Miles Bridges and I went to the trade finder, it brought up a very intriguing offer, which is this one. Reggie Bullock, who is 73 overall, 22 years old, and this year's first round pick from Miami. Now, if you remember, or maybe you don't remember, our draft pick stash is very, very limited. We have 1 pick this year, and it's the Thunder's pick. Then next year we have 1 pick. The year after we don't have any picks. The year after that we don't have any picks. And then finally back in 2043. So we are going to have to find out, depending on what the draft classes are looking like. Now, maybe these 2 seasons aren't, we don't get lucky with the wheel spin and we get like some really bad draft classes that I don't really care about. Maybe that's what happens. But depending on what the wheel spin is this year, might determine if we trade Miles Bridges. Now, speaking of the wheel, we got to figure out what draft class we're fighting for this year. So we are going to bring up the wheel and we are going to spin it and hopefully get, I would hope to get a lesser draft class so we don't have to really worry about trading. But let's spin the wheel. 3, 2, 1, spin that wheel. What draft class are we going to be fighting for? It's an old one. 1979. Okay. 1979 is the draft class that we are going to be working with this season. Now, I'm not off the top of my head familiar with the 1979 draft class. I don't know if that draft class has anybody that's really like worth taking with a draft pick. I mean, we have the Thunder's pick, so we are going to have a draft pick unless we trade it. But let's take a look at the 1979 draft class. 1970, is that, wait. The 1979 draft class is Magic Johnson. How did that not pop into my head earlier? I'm pretty sure the 1979 draft class is Magic Johnson. And I'm going to go with this one. And if Magic Johnson in the draft class, we got to get Magic Johnson. It is. I thought it was Magic Johnson. I don't know why I blanked on it for a solid minute. But obviously, how could I forget? Obviously, Magic Johnson is in the 79 draft class. And we got to get Magic Johnson on the team. That's just a guarantee. So now that adds even more interest into possibly trading Miles Bridges. The only problem is we don't really need another guard. That's really the problem. Because if we take a look at the game plan, we have Luka and we have Tracy. Well, actually, they're going to start Kobe at the 3. No, I'd rather have LeBron at the 3. I'd rather have McGrady off the bench and have Giannis starting. Give Giannis some big-time minutes. That's what I want to see. We'll still give McGrady some minutes. McGrady still have some decent amount of minutes, but I want to have Giannis get some minutes. I want him to develop as quick as possible. I think this team is good enough without a power forward right now to at least make the playoffs, obviously, because we have Tracy McGrady and Anthony Edwards off the bench. But we have Luka, we have Kobe, so that's the 2 guard positions figured out. Now, I guess I could trade Luka at some point and replace him with Magic. But, I mean, we're the Los Angeles Lakers. At some point, we got to have Magic Johnson. I mean, we got Kobe. We haven't gotten the 1992 draft class to get Shaq yet. But there's just some Laker legends in real life that you have to have on the team. And I feel like Magic Johnson is one of them. We've had Wilt Chamberlain on the team. Kareem, we haven't had an opportunity to get yet. So, Kareem's not an option yet. But I'm certainly going to try and get Kareem. But maybe that's what we do. Maybe at the end of the season, what's Luka's contract looking like? Luka is up for a contract extension, if I'm not mistaken. Contract extensions. Yeah, Luka Doncic is ineligible, but we do have the bird rights. So we have the bird rights on LeBron, on Luka, on DeAndre Ayton, on Miles Bridges, and Darko. We're obviously going to bring back LeBron. We're going to bring back DeAndre Ayton. Might trade Miles Bridges. Probably going to bring back Darko just because we need backup center minutes. But Luka, if we bring Luka back, he's going to want a ton of money. But if we bring Luka back, we draft Magic Johnson, then we have another season of Luka, we let Magic Johnson develop off the bench, then next episode in the offseason, we trade Luka and put Magic Johnson as the starting point guard. I think that might be the best option. So that's the plan as of right now. Obviously, plans can change, and they probably will. But that's the plan as of right now. Now, we did find out what the draft is, and it's the Magic Johnson draft. And we only have 1 pick, which is the the Thunder pick. Now, if we go to the Oklahoma City Thunder, their team is John Stockton, Nate Archibald, Colin Sexton, Dick Van Arsdale, Rudy Tomjanovich, Derek Fisher. They're not that well built of a team, which is good for us because that means they probably are going to be a decently bad team. So that's good for us. Now, the team that we were going to be trading with is the Miami Heat. They have Steve Nash, Evan Mobley, who's starting to regress, Jalen Suggs, who both have played for the Los Angeles Lakers in the previous seasons. Mobley's been here for a little bit longer. But then they go down and they drop to Kevin Knox and Lonnie Walker IV and Michael Cooper. So they've got three old guys. And then some good role players, but nothing really after that. If we give them Miles Bridges, he would take over for Kevin Knox. Would that make them a better team? They're paying a lot of money to these three guys. Would that make them a better team if we... Hasn't Steve Nash been here his entire career? He has been here his entire career. Would that make them a better team with Miles Bridges? Like, would that be a bad idea to trade Miles Bridges to them and take their first round pick plus Reggie Bullock? Is that the best option? Because the other 39 draft pick was this one with Nick Young from the Pacers. But Nick Young is old, and at least Reggie Bullock has a chance to develop. Randy Bellamy also is older. The only reason I was considering this one is because of Reggie Bullock's age. He's only 22 years old, so he was just drafted in this past class with Giannis. So that's the only reason why I'm considering it, because he's younger and he has a chance to at least turn into a good role player off the bench. Now, Miles Bridges is probably going to want a ton of money, and Reggie probably not going to want as much. So this trade, I think, is a good idea. Miles Bridges, the Heat are over the salary cap. The Heat would acquire, they have to make up 1.3, add exception. Yes, add the trade exception and make the trade. The Miami Heat have agreed to the trade. Now, is that going to make us worse? Is that going to... they're going to switch this back. Okay, so let me switch this back to make Giannis the starter. Give Anthony Edwards a little bit less minutes. Give Giannis more minutes. Is this going to make us worse? Reggie's going to get some minutes off the bench. I certainly want him to get some minutes. He's probably going to go over Johnny Flynn, I think. Not that many minutes, but give him some minutes like that. Okay, so does that trade make us worse? Maybe. But we do have two more first-round picks. We have the Heat pick, and we have the Thunder pick. And we have Tracy McGrady in the back pocket. So we don't have to worry about that. With all that being done, is this the All-Star Draft? That is. Okay, so with all that being done, it's time to simulate to the All-Star Draft. I hope we made the right decision. I guess we'll find out halfway through how the Thunder and the Heat are doing. We'll keep an eye on them all season. But I hope you guys are enjoying this series. If you are, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. Let's get simulating halfway through. We are back at February 6th, the All-Star Draft. And ladies and gentlemen, you can see a lot of wins on this schedule, can't you? And not a lot of losses. Because as things stand right now at the kind of halfway point, not really, but we're going to call it the halfway point. We are on a 31-game win streak. Now, knowing 2K, it's probably going to end the moment I start simulating again. But I just wanted to point out that we are on a 31-game win streak. We are 48-6, 12 games above the Timberwolves, who are 35-17. Now, as you can see, the third team there is the Oklahoma City Thunder. So they are playing above average and probably going to make the playoffs. So that Thunder pick is not going to be very valuable, which is concerning to me because we have their Thunder pick. Season stats for the first part. Kobe is killing it as always. Doing his thing. Luka is doing his thing, almost averaging a double-double. Then you got LeBron playing really, really well. 18 points, 7 assists. Then you got T-Mac off the bench playing well. Actually, you know what? They probably have Kobe at the 3 because we did have some injuries, and I said had the CPU do that. So they probably switched it back to having McGrady start. I'm guessing that Tracy has started some games this season. Let me check. Games started for Tracy McGrady. Yeah, he started 45 games this season. How many has Giannis started this season? Giannis has started Only 9 games. So they did switch it back. They switched it back from Giannis starting, which doesn't really hurt me that much. It's not that big of a deal that they switched that back, because obviously it's working for us having these 4 guys, or these 5 guys actually, just be the rotation. Then you got DeAndre Ayton doing his thing, averaging a double-double. Anthony Edwards coming off of his rookie season, bumping up his number of points that he's averaged. Giannis is playing okay in his first season. Then you got Jeff Teague contributing a decent amount. Johnny Flynn's even contributing a little bit amount. And there's Reggie Bullock. Reggie Bullock in his rookie season is up to a 74 overall. Apparently this trade isn't going to be that bad for us. It depends on what the Heat do in terms of their record. We could check right now. The Miami Heat are in the playoffs. So both of the picks that we have are not going to be very good, which is why we have Tracy McGrady. We might have to use Tracy McGrady to get the first overall pick to draft Magic Johnson. Now, All-Star Draft time. It's Team Rick and Team Larry. Team Larry Bird, Team Rick Barry. And there's the All-Star Draft. So Larry Bird drafts Jalen Green, Michael Jordan, Evan Mobley, and Chris Bosh, along with Steph Curry, Blake Griffin, Dwayne Wade, Peja Stojakovic, Chauncey Billups, Sharif Abdur-Rahim, and Billy Cunningham. And then Rick Barry drafts Stephon Marbury, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Carmelo, Chris Webber, Steve Nash, Barkley, Conley, Trae Young, Bob Love, and Jaren Jackson Jr. So we get 2 All-Stars this season, both of them starters, Kobe and LeBron. I'd say that's a big-time W. I'd say that is a huge W in terms of how this season is going. Larry Bird and Peja are tied for the scoring title this season. Larry seems to be killing it in LA on the other side, going up against us on a nightly basis. He's doing really well. Then you got Peja, who's been dominating for a couple of seasons now. Yeah, this is his 3rd straight year where he's averaged 30-plus points. So Peja's been a big-time beast since getting drafted 9 years ago. Abdur-Rahim has played really well all his career. Kevin Durant, I didn't realize, was in Milwaukee. He was only in Portland for 3 years, and then this offseason must have got a big contract from the Milwaukee Bucks. How much did he sign for? He signed a 3-year deal with a player option. Okay, good for Kevin Durant. He's getting his money, and he's in a team where he is valued, I would guess. He's a 2-time NBA champ. He was here for both of our championships. He's a 3-time MVP. We won all 3 with us. And he is... Actually, no, he didn't. He won his last one in Portland. But he won his other 2 with us. So Kevin Durant, I guess, have a good time in Milwaukee. I mean, you dislocated your left patella, so it can't really be that fun. Rick Barry and Chris Bosh, I can see why they're all-stars, because these 2 boys killing it in Brooklyn. But it's time to simulate the rest of the season. I hope we can keep up this domination of the Western Conference, and maybe the Miami Heat and the Oklahoma City Thunder slip up. I don't know. Otherwise, we're probably going to have to make a move with Tracy McGrady to get that number 1 overall pick. But we'll all figure all that in the offseason. Let's get to the end of the season and the awards. I'll see you guys then. Season is wraps, and Rick Barry takes home another MVP. This man is an MVP machine. Not necessarily a championship machine, but he is an MVP machine. 5 now in total for Rick Barry. Is he the GOAT? I don't know, but he's certainly playing up to it. Victor Oladipo is your Rookie of the Year. 17 points per game. Good for him. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the 6th Man of the Year in Cleveland. Good numbers for him. Tim Duncan dethrones Hakeem Olajuwon, the first new Defensive Player of the Year in a long time. Good for Tim Duncan finally getting his recognition. And then James Wiseman is the most improved player, going from 13.7 to 18. Okay, I can see why. Actually, no, that was his Perth. That was his other stuff, his career advanced stats. He went from 11 to 16. That seems a little bit better. And he averaged a double-double this season. Okay, I was gonna say maybe he didn't deserve it, but who cares? Those are good numbers. 1.3 steals per game, 2.1 blocks per game. Those are good numbers. Alexander Panel is the Coach of the Year, which is our coach at 69-13. Nice. And Mr. Juice is back-to-back Executive of the Year. Now I'm finally getting my respect. I'm finally getting the respect that I deserve. All-NBA first team, Chauncey Billups, Dwayne Wade, Rick Barry, Larry Bird, Evan Mobley. Second team, Michael Jordan, Cade Cunningham, Abdur-Rahim, Chris Bosh, Hakeem Olajuwon. Third team is Marbury, Ray Allen, Chris Webber, Kevin Durant, Chris Kaman, which is weird, but he's an 87 overall, so whatever. Defensive team, Iverson, Jordan, Duncan, Jaren Jackson Jr., Evan Mobley. Second team, Marbury, Wade, Bird, Barry, and O'Neal. There's the all-rookie first team. Giannis made it. He bumped up his scoring a little bit. Good for Giannis. 78 overall now. And there's the second team. And that's all your All-NBA awards. We are obviously the 1 seed with a 69-13 record. But we can take a look at the player stats to finish the season. Kobe dropped his numbers a little bit. Did bump him up from last season, but he was averaging about 20 when we last checked. That's because Luka is scoring really well. LeBron is scoring pretty well. Tracy did get injured a little bit towards the end of the season, so that's not good. And so did Anthony Edwards. He tore his right MCL, and he's still out for 1 to 2 weeks. He's been having a good sophomore season. That means Giannis, I'm pretty sure, is starting now. DeAndre Ayton averaged a double-double. I think that's, I was going to say the second season he's averaged a double-double. Good for DeAndre Ayton. Did we draft DeAndre? We did, didn't we? We did. Okay, I thought we did. Then Jeff Teague, Johnny Flynn, Bullock, averaging 4 points now. Obviously, Miles Bridges probably would have averaged like 8 or 9, maybe even 10 if he was on the team. But in his rookie season, off the bench, not getting a ton of minutes, these are good points for Reggie Bullock, averaging about 40% from the three-point line. He's going to get a little bit better as time goes on, so you can't really judge what he's done here in his rookie season, especially when he's not getting a lot of minutes. We'll probably not have either one of these 2 point guards back, so that's a couple extra minutes for him next season, so it depends on what we do. Well, especially if we draft Magic Johnson, we're certainly not going to have one, if not both of these guys back. So that's what our team stats are looking like at the end of the season. The league leaders, we have Larry Bird, who took home another scoring title. I think that might be his third. I don't remember exactly how many he's got. He's got a couple. Peja, he's got a couple too. It's the same guys. It's the same guys that you would expect. Somehow Rick Barry won the MVP, even though Larry Bird's been killing it. Peja's been killing it. And Rick Barry, I don't think he's ever averaged 30 points. Did he get 30 points? He didn't. He's been averaging basically the same amount of points every season of his career, except for last season he had a crazy 28.3 season. But other than that, he really hasn't done much. But these are the guys in the top half of the league. The play-in game, we are taking on the San Antonio Spurs in round number 1. They have Cade Cunningham. They have Gary Neal. They have Sean Elliott, Alperen Sengun, and Mark Gasol. That's a pretty solid team if you think about it. We do have Giannis starting. I think this team is good enough to get through, though. Game 1 goes to us. Anthony Edwards is upgraded, so that's good. They take game 2. Tracy McGrady's fully healed. They take game 3. We take game 4. Anthony Edwards is fully healed, and we take game 5. All right, we get through in game 6. That was a little bit worrying, but we just had to fight through until our guys came back from injury. Now we're going up against the Houston Rockets, who have Anthony Simons, Allen Iverson, Carmelo, Jalen Johnson, and Wendell Carter Jr. That's a very dangerous scoring duo of Iverson and Melo. This is going to be a tough matchup. A 1 versus 4 matchup, certainly going to be tough. And the Thunder and the Miami Heat both made the playoffs, and both are in the second round. So that's not looking good for our draft pick. We took game 1, we took game 2, we took game 3, we took game 4. Okay, we swept them. I thought that was going to be a little bit more difficult, but I guess we locked up Iverson and Melo. Yeah, I guess we did. Okay. We're taking on the Timberwolves, and the Heat and the Nets are playing in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Timberwolves have Tim Hardaway, still have Josh Giddey, Mikal Bridges, Lonnie Thomas, and Billy Pultz. Okay, so that's a very guard-heavy team. This team shouldn't be able to beat us, but I don't want to jinx it. I mean, they were the 2 seed, so Josh Giddey must be putting up crazy numbers. Let's go through and find out what happens. We lose game 1. We take game 2. Take game 3, 4, and 5. Okay, we get out of there in 5. They kind of scared us with winning game 1, but we do move on. And are we going to have a rematch? No, we're not. The Miami Heat. So we are going to be playing Miles Bridges. Is he starting? He's not starting. At least in game 1, he's not starting. This is not good. Not only are we going to be playing Miles Bridges, but we are playing the team that we traded for their draft pick. So their draft pick is going to be just as bad as our pick would have been if we had it. So that's not good. And the Thunder pick is going to be in the 20s because they're in the playoffs and they went deep. So we are kind of screwed. We might have to trade Tracy McGrady. But game 1 against the Miami Heat, they have Steve Nash, Lonnie Walker, Wilson Chandler, Austin Crocier, and Evan Mobley. Is Miles Bridges injured? Is that why he's not playing? Because he should be starting. He's a much higher overall than what they're throwing out there. So Miles Bridges, no, he's not hurt, and neither is Jalen Suggs. They're just not starting for some reason. I mean, Miles Bridges, even Kevin Knox is not starting. They have Wilson Chandler, who's 35 years old, who looks like Spencer Dinwiddie, but he's starting. I mean, have Miles Bridges at the power forward and then Kevin Knox at the small forward. You could have Nash at the point guard, Jalen Suggs at the shooting guard. They're screwing up their lineup. I'm not going to help them because we're playing against them. If I wasn't playing against them, I would fix their lineup. But I'm not doing that because I'm not giving them an advantage. I want the championship. We're trying to go back-to-back here. We take game 1, take game 2. There's game 3. This one should be in the books in sweep fashion. I would hope so. I mean, we're on Miami's court. They could take this game and we go back to LA. I wouldn't necessarily be mad at that. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. So we are going to go back to LA for game 5. Let's do it on our home court. We didn't do it last year. We won in Brooklyn last year. Are we going to go to a game? Okay, we finally came back in the second half. Here we go. All right, we're starting to pull away. 57 seconds left. Jump into the game. We are back-to-back champs, ladies and gentlemen. The Los Angeles Lakers are back on top. That's what I like to hear. Luka Doncic to Tracy McGrady, working on Kevin Knox. Take the shot. Luka with the rebound. Johnny Flynn to DeAndre Ayton. Kobe. He's got another title in his bag. There's a green bean. 106.95. And 42 seconds. So we beat the Brooklyn Nets last year, and we beat the Miami Heat this season. Jalen Suggs takes the shot. He makes it. It's only a 2, though. A very deep 2, but he made it. You love to see it. When we're winning on our home court, too, you couldn't ask for anything better. Kobe going to pull up for 3 in the face. I took it. I mean, could you really blame me? That wasn't that bad of a shot. Steve Nash, is he going to pull up? He is going to pull up. Steve misses the shot. Luka's got space. Luka Doncic driving to the basket. And he slams it home. 108.97, that's game. There's back-to-back for the boys. Is the dynasty budding? Do I see a budding dynasty? Back-to-back for the boys? Kevin Knox for 3, and Kevin Knox drained it. Good for Kevin. So they're only going to lose by 8. And there it is. An NBA championship for the Los Angeles Lakers. Back-to-back. Back-to-back, 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 back-to-back. Let's go, baby. You love to see it. It was a little dicey there. I thought maybe, just maybe, the Heat were going to come back and force a Game 7. But we end up doing the dang thing. And there he is, King James in front of his faithful court. We win the championship. Giannis in his rookie season gets an NBA championship. He doesn't seem very happy. There it is. There's the excitement. There's the excitement from Giannis. So Anthony Edwards has been in the league for 2 seasons, and he's got 2 NBA championships. He was the reason. He was the sole fixture that we needed, because before he got on the team, we weren't doing anything. We were getting beat in the playoffs. But add Anthony Edwards, and we're back-to-back champs. We get the trophy. Hold up that hold up that Larry O'Brien is what I wanted to say. Hold up that Larry O'Brien with the boys. Looks like Johnny Flynn's up there. Giannis is there. Who is it? Oh, it's Braun. Who else? Was it going to be Kobe? It could have been. But it's LeBron James, Finals MVP. Back-to-back? Did he win it last year? We have to go check. I'm pretty sure he won it back-to-back. But the boys are back in town. Luka Doncic in 30 minutes put up 19, 9, and 3. Kobe had 18 and 5. LeBron had 13 and 9. DeAndre had a double-double. So did Tracy McGrady. Almost a triple-double, actually. And there's Anthony Edwards, 10 points. Giannis had 8, 4, and 6 in his first ever finals. And the boys win back-to-back rings. That's big time. That's the kind of dynasty that I wanted to see. LeBron James is your finals MVP. I guess we could check and see league history if he was back-to-back or not. He is. So LeBron James wins back-to-back MVPs, and that is number 4 for the boys. 4 rings in 18 seasons. 4 rings in 18 seasons. I wish I could say it was 14 rings in 18 seasons, but 4 rings in 18 seasons is still nothing to write home about, or nothing to cry about. Bob Boozer finally retires, guaranteed Hall of Famer. This dude was killing the league for a decade plus. He was a menace to society. He finishes with 3 NBA titles, no MVPs, but this man was an absolute monster. Bob Boozer finally hangs it up. So does Andrew Bynum. He got his ring. He got 1 championship. We actually had him on the team. How many seasons do we have him on the team? We had Andrew Bynum on the team for 3 seasons. 3 of his best seasons as a pro. And then we bring him back for the final season. He rides the bench, and he gets a championship. David Lee retires. Ersan Ilyasova retires, who was on our team for a second. I don't know how long. He was only on the team for 1 season, but he was here. Wilson Chandler retires. Bailey Howell retires. There's Wilt. Oh, we couldn't win with Wilt. See, we had Wilt for 2 years. We had Wilt for 2 seasons. And then the season that we let him go are the 2 seasons that we won an NBA championship. Both these years. That's very depressing. We've got some Hall of Famers in this retirement class. This is the first big retirement class. These are some of the guys that started this series. Some of the guys that were here from the beginning. Some of the first ever draft classes. This is going to be sad, but we've got some Hall of Famers on this retirement class. Staff retirements, don't care about that. How many? I'm going to say Bob Boozer and Will are the only 2. Oh, we get Vin Baker and Andrew Bynum. Andrew Bynum makes the Hall of Fame. Congratulations to him. But Wilt Chamberlain obviously was going to make the Hall of Fame. He was Defensive Player of the Year for like 9 years in a row. He never got a championship, I don't think at least. But he was a monster. He's well-deserved of the Hall of Fame. Bob Boozer, well-deserved of the Hall of Fame. Vin Baker, I didn't even really keep up with his career that much, but those numbers are pretty solid. And then Andrew Bynum, congratulations to him, got a ring, and he's going to the Hall of Fame. Here we go. We got some retired numbers. None for us, because as the Lakers, we have a lot of retired numbers already. So Bailey Howell played 10 years in New Orleans, gets his number 18 retired. Bob Boozer played 9 years in Milwaukee, and then 7 years in Detroit, gets his number 35 retired both places. Vin Baker, 10 years in Oklahoma City, gets his number 42 retired. Fred Newman, I don't know who that is, but he gets his number 47 retired. And then Wilt Chamberlain gets his number 53 retired with the Phoenix Suns. Spent a lot of years with the boys. But if we go to the Los Angeles Lakers, we can't really have a lot of guys have their number retired because we've had a lot of guys already in real life have their number retired. We can't really give a lot of numbers out. So yeah, that's why we can't really retire anybody's number. I mean, the only reason you can give, like so how do I want to say this? So, because we have Kobe Bryant on the team, that's why he can wear number 8 and number 24. Because Kobe in 2K, only the player that on that team, their number is retired, can wear that number. If you get what I'm saying. So if we draft Shaq to LA, whenever we pull the 92 draft class, he can wear 34. If we draft Magic Johnson this year, we can give him 32 because it's programmed in where he's the only guy on the Lakers who can wear 32. If you get what I'm saying. But that's why we'll probably not have a lot of jersey retirements because we already in real life have a lot of them. League meetings, we're going to make sure everything is rejected here. And then the draft lottery. We, unfortunately, made some bad trade decisions in terms of draft picks, and we're not going to have any draft lottery options. We have pick 28 and pick 21. So that is not that good. That's not going to get us a certain Magic Man at number 1. But there is a possible trade to be made. We can send McGrady away, and we can follow our plan that I started in the beginning of the episode. Who got number 1? I didn't read who the lottery was, really. It was the Dallas Mavericks. It's only a 4-star pick. We could trade. That's a lot of value for Tracy McGrady, though. only being a 4-star pick. Certainly not Kobe. Tracy McGrady, 24 years old, to the Dallas Mavericks. They have Steph Curry, who's got $61.5 million in the bank. He's been on Dallas for a while. We drafted Steph Curry number 2 overall. We've played him in the finals a couple years. They don't really have anybody else that I want. So Tracy McGrady, the 1st overall pick, the pick next year, unprotected. What can that get us? Oh, no. Am I going to have to throw a player in? It's doing this weird glitch thing that it always does. Throw me Pokusevski. They can't throw me Pokusevski. Throw me Steven Adams, and we'll have a deal. Oh, no. Oh, no! Well, we got the number 1 overall pick. I did not think that was going to go through. Straight up Tracy McGrady for the pick. Whoops. So we've got Magic Johnson on the books, but we don't have Tracy McGrady anymore. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know. We could trade up to pick 18, but I don't know if that's really worth it. I mean, maybe it's worth it, and then we trade the pick 18 for a higher pick. Maybe let's do that. I mean, it's giving up a second, too, so that doesn't really matter. So if we trade, not player finder, if we trade pick 18 now, maybe that gives us something a little bit better. I'm looking for probably 40s, but that's protected. 42 is not protected. It looks like we can't get anything in the 40s unless it's protected like that. The Spurs are going to top 10 protect. 41. Who's a team that's not really that great? Are the Cavs? The Cavs aren't really that great. Have they been in the playoffs? I don't even remember. I don't think the Jazz have been in the playoffs very often. I'll give the Jazz the pick. And we'll trade pick 28 as well. I can get not a whole lot of offers. A lot of seconds. A lot of seconds for this pick. There's a top 3 protected from the Rockets. I don't think that's worth it. I can get pick 27. I can move up 1 pick. Is that not really worth it? No, it doesn't seem like it. And I don't really want to go with protect. I'm kind of done with protected picks. Protected picks are kind of sucky. So maybe we do this pick and we move up 1 pick to 27 and see what we can do. Maybe that's what we can do. We move this. We throw both of these in the trade and see if somebody will give us a pick for 2040. Is that an option? Anybody want to give us a 1st rounder for 2040? It doesn't seem like we can. We can get pick 25. But it doesn't seem like... I'm just trading around. I'm making so many trades in the draft. We're just moving around so much, moving around with teams. I'm just trying to get a 1st round pick for 2040, but it doesn't look like anybody wants to give me that. So maybe what we do is we take this deal right. Is it the Jazz or the Knicks maybe? Maybe we take the Knicks trade. Or maybe we use this to get a player. Mike Muscala? Because we do need some players, if we're being honest. But it doesn't look like there's any players that are that great. Let's trade the Knicks pick. All right, so we have the 1st overall pick. We've had the 1st overall pick so many times. Magic Johnson, come to Papa. You are the number 1 overall pick in the 2039 NBA draft. Thank you for that. We are going to sim to the end because it doesn't really matter what else happens. Magic Johnson ends up being an 81 overall. Johnny Moore goes 2. Sidney Moncrief goes 3 to the Raptors. James Donaldson, 75 overall, goes to the Magic. Jim Paxson goes to the Pacers. Dudley Bradley, don't know who that is. Cliff Robinson, Bill Cartwright, Bill Laimbeer. All right, that's who gets drafted. Rookie signing, we're going to sign Magic Johnson to the team. Player options, we'll accept Anthony Edwards as player option. Bosch declines his. Barkley declines his. Okay, interesting guys declining. We are going to offer the extended qualifying offer to Ayton and Doncic. We're probably going to pay them a big-time bag. A big-time bag. We don't have any money. Luka's restricted, which is awesome. So is DeAndre Ayton. Do I want to keep bringing back Darko? Is that really what I want to do? I guess we will. It doesn't really matter. We'll just wait to see what Luka and DeAndre Ayton get offered, and then we'll have to match it. We are going to do that. Renounce the rights on Miles Bridges. Renounce the rights on you. I don't want to renounce the rights on Luka or DeAndre Ayton. I'm just waiting for them to match offers. I guess I could just throw offers myself. I mean, it's not a big deal. I was just hoping that maybe they would offer something that's a little bit cheaper than what I would have to offer. Ayton's prepared to accept an offer from the Thunder, and Luka's prepared to accept an offer from the Suns, or from the Celtics, excuse me. So that's what we got to do. Both basically exactly the same contract. All right, whatever. We'll sign it. We will sign it. That's the team. LeBron has jumped above Kobe. Luka's here, but remember, we're probably going to trade Luka after next season to move in Magic as the starting point guard. We've got Kobe and Anthony Edwards. We got LeBron and Reggie Bullock. We've got Giannis. I'm hoping Giannis takes a big jump in player progression. We need some backups, basically. We just need to fill out the bench now. Trae Young's unrestricted. So is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Stockton. If Stockton wasn't so expensive, at 33, you're asking for that much money? Come on, Stockton. What are we doing out here? Everybody's so expensive. Robert Williams is so expensive. I'd get Robert Williams if he wanted a cheaper deal. But I don't think he's going to accept the kind of offer that we can pay. Who else is a good center that wants cheap money? Spencer Hawes. Even Vernon Carey wants big-time money. I don't think you're really worth that kind of money, but you do you, my guy. A 1-year minimum for Spencer Hawes. Power forward minutes. Matt Bonner. Boris Diaw. I have always wanted Boris Diaw on the team. He didn't want to accept our contract a couple of seasons ago. There is Miles Bridges, unrestricted. Go get your... Actually, he is restricted. Go get your money, Miles. Go get your money. Do we have the restriction on him? No, the Pacers do. Wait, no, who has the restriction on him? Probably the Heat have the restriction on him. But the Pacers offered him a contract. Small forward. Minutes. Who can fill out the roster? Who can fill out the small forward position? Probably... Who's cheap and decent? Keita Bates-Diop is cheap and decent. That's not that cheap. Keita, what are you doing? Why are you asking for so much money? I'll give you a 1-year deal. See what you say to that. Keita accepted. All right, let's go to shooting guard, see who's cheap and good in this spot. And let me know down below if you want me to turn off the salary cap, because I certainly will. I certainly have the option to turn off the salary cap. Kyle Korver. I wouldn't be opposed to bringing Kyle Korver into the team. Who's cheap and good at the point guard spot? The first cheap guy is Ricky George, Kenny Battle, Peyton Pritchard. Kirk Heinrich is pretty cheap. Malachi Flynn is pretty cheap. Luke Ridnour. Kirk Heinrich wouldn't be bad on the minimum. Boris Diaw, Spencer Hawes, and Kyle Korver accept. Then Kirk Heinrich. That's 14 players. That fills out a roster. This team is good. Player progression. Show me the big-time money. Please show me the big-time money. Kobe's a 95. LeBron's a 95. Luka's a 94. Ayton's a 93. Anthony Edwards is at 85. Then you got Magic at an 81. Giannis is up 3 to an 80, so he's starting to get there. Reggie Bullock's up to a 74, and then nobody else really goes up. But progression for Giannis, I like to see it. Plus, I mean, we're really just being carried by our starting 5, so it doesn't really matter at this point what we have. Or our starting 4, I should say, because Giannis is going to be the power forward this season because we don't have Tracy McGrady. But that's another good season. I mean, any season that ends in a championship is going to be a good video. So I call it a success. We're back-to-back champs. We are dominating. We are on top of our game. We are the best team in the league. And this is our starting 5. Next season, Magic will take over for Luka. We'll trade Luka. And we'll go from there. Let's take a look quickly at our draft picks, because I don't remember exactly what. I want to figure out what we actually have. So this season, we have 1 pick, which is our own. Then we don't have one in 2041, but we could get that for Luka, I guess. Then in 2042, we have 1. 2043, we have 1. We have 2 in 2043, and then we're back to 2044. Okay, so we do get our first-round picks back, except for 2041. So we're going to have to figure that out in the next episode. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching. Back-to-back champs is super exciting. I'm glad you guys were along for the ride. If you guys enjoyed, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Juice Club. I really would appreciate it. Main channel link down below in the description, as always, if you want to go check out the main channel, World of Juice. If not, totally cool. You can stick around here and watch more videos. Thank you guys so much for stopping by and watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.